The wind howls, a relentless force that sweeps across the land. Snow falls in blinding sheets, creating a whiteout that obscures everything in its path. Temperatures plummet, turning the world into a frozen wasteland. Winter has always held sway over the northern hemisphere, casting its icy grip over the land and transforming the landscape into a serene yet formidable wonderland. But this February, something far more menacing approaches, a storm unlike any we've seen in recent memory. An Arctic cold blast fueled by a disrupted polar vortex threatens to engulf Canada and the United States in a deep freeze. This is not just another winter storm, it's a climatic event of epic proportions. This is not just winter's chill, it's a bone-chilling cold that penetrates even the warmest of homes and hearts. This is a different beast entirely, a force of nature that defies our expectations and challenges our resilience. We've seen glimpses of this fury before. Remember 2021? The year when winter's wrath was felt far and wide? Texas, a state known for its heat, was crippled by unprecedented cold. The infrastructure failed and lives were upended. Or the bomb cyclone of 2018 that plunged the East Coast into chaos, leaving cities paralyzed and communities struggling to cope. These events, once considered anomalies, are becoming increasingly common. The patterns are shifting and the storms are growing more intense. And this February, we face another stark reminder of nature's raw power. The storm gathers, and we must brace ourselves for its impact. This is not a time for complacency. We must take action, prepare our homes, and ensure our safety. This is a time for preparation. Stock up on essentials, secure your property, and stay informed. This is a time for vigilance. Monitor weather reports, heed warnings, and be ready to act. The Arctic cold blast demands our attention. It's a reminder of the power of nature and the importance of being prepared. Our lives may depend on it. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay vigilant as the storm gathers. High above the Arctic Circle, a swirling mass of frigid air usually holds court. This is a realm where the cold reigns supreme, a fortress of ice and snow that seems almost otherworldly in its stark beauty and harsh conditions. This is the polar vortex, a natural phenomenon that keeps the coldest air trapped in the far north. It's like a giant invisible barrier that encircles the Arctic, maintaining a delicate balance that has existed for millennia. But sometimes this vortex weakens, allowing icy tendrils to escape and snake southward. When this happens, the cold air that was once confined to the Arctic begins to spill out, reaching far beyond its usual boundaries. Think of it like a spinning top. When it spins fast, it stays upright, holding its energy contained. The faster it spins, the more stable it is, maintaining its position with precision and grace. But when it slows, it wobbles, its energy spilling out in unpredictable ways. The once stable top begins to falter, its movements becoming erratic and uncontrolled. That's what's happening with the polar vortex. It's wobbling. The once stable and predictable system is now unstable, its boundaries shifting and changing in ways that are difficult to predict. And that wobble has consequences. When the polar vortex becomes unstable, it can lead to severe winter weather in regions that are not typically accustomed to such extreme conditions. Climate change is the culprit. The warming of our planet is having a profound impact on the stability of the polar vortex, causing it to weaken and wobble more frequently. As the planet warms, the Arctic is heating up twice as fast as other regions. This rapid warming is disrupting the delicate balance that has kept the polar vortex stable for so long. This disrupts the temperature balance that keeps the polar vortex stable. The once predictable system is now in a state of flux, its boundaries shifting and changing in response to the warming climate. The result? The Arctic air breaks free, bringing its deep freeze south. Regions that are not typically accustomed to such extreme cold are now experiencing severe winter weather, with all the challenges and disruptions that come with it. Before the full force of the Arctic blast hits, a harbinger arrives. Winter Storm Jet, a powerful storm system, sweeps across the continent, dumping heavy snow, unleashing freezing rain, and whipping up blinding blizzards. Jet is just a taste of what's to come. Imagine driving through a wall of white. That's what Jet brings. Visibility drops to mere feet, roads become treacherous, impassable, power lines snap under the weight of ice. This is not a time to be caught unprepared. Jet serves as a stark reminder of winter's power. It's a wake-up call, urging us to prepare for the even more formidable threat looming on the horizon. The Arctic cold blast is coming, and it will be unlike anything we've seen in recent memory. With Jet's icy breath still lingering in the air, the main event arrives. The Arctic cold blast descends upon Canada and the United States, bringing with it record-breaking low temperatures. This is not just a dip in the thermometer, this is an all-out assault by the forces of nature. From the Canadian prairies to the American Midwest, from the Great Plains to the East Coast, the Arctic air spreads its icy grip. Temperatures plummet far below freezing, breaking records that have stood for decades. The wind howls, driving the chill deep into our bones. Schools and businesses shut down, roads become impassable. The power grid, already strained by Jet's fury, faces an even greater test. This is a time of unprecedented challenge, a time when our resilience will be tested to the core. Section 5. A nation in the grip of cold. The Arctic cold blast does not discriminate. It sweeps across the nation, bringing with it a relentless chill that seeps into every aspect of life. It reaches into every corner of our lives, disrupting our routines and testing our limits. From the bustling cities to the quiet rural areas, no one is spared from its icy grip. Cities grind to a halt. Streets that were once filled with the hustle and bustle of daily life now lie silent under a blanket of snow. Rural communities become isolated, cut off from the rest of the world as roads become impassable. The fabric of our daily existence is stretched thin. Simple tasks become monumental challenges. Shoveling snow, walking to the store, even getting to work. Everything takes longer, requires more effort, and tests our resilience. Imagine waking up to a home without heat, the pipes frozen solid. The cold seeps into every room, making it difficult to find comfort. The windows are covered in a layer of ice, a stark reminder of the harsh conditions outside. Imagine venturing outside only to be met by a biting wind that chills you to the bone in seconds. Each step feels like a battle against the elements, as the wind howls and the snow swirls around you. This is the reality facing millions as the Arctic air tightens its grip. The landscape is transformed into a frozen wasteland, and the cold becomes an ever-present adversary. The impact is felt most acutely in vulnerable communities. The elderly, who are more susceptible to the cold, struggle to stay warm. The homeless, without a place to call home, face the brutal conditions head-on. The elderly, the homeless, those living without adequate shelter, they are the ones who bear the brunt of the cold's fury. Their struggle is a stark reminder of the need for compassion and support. Those living without adequate shelter, they are the ones who bear the brunt of the cold's fury. Makeshift shelters become a lifeline, offering a brief respite from the relentless cold. This is a time for compassion, a time to reach out to our neighbors and offer a helping hand. In the face of such adversity, our humanity shines through, a time to reach out to our neighbors and offer a helping hand. Whether it's offering warm clothing, distributing hot meals, or simply shoveling a neighbor's driveway, every act of kindness makes a difference. Together we can weather the storm and emerge stronger on the other side. Section 6. The bite of winter's fury. The Arctic cold blast brings with it more than just discomfort. It brings with it the very real threat of frostbite and hypothermia. These are not just words. These are life-threatening conditions that can strike quickly and without warning. Frostbite, the freezing of skin and underlying tissues, can occur in minutes in extreme cold. Hypothermia, a dangerous drop in body temperature, is a silent killer, its symptoms often subtle until it's too late. We must be vigilant, aware of the signs, and prepared to act swiftly. This is not the time for bravado. This is the time to heed the warnings, to dress in layers, to limit time outdoors. Our health, our very lives, depend on it. Section 7. Preparing for the deep freeze. The Arctic cold blast may be a force of nature, but we are not powerless in its path. Preparation is key. By taking steps now, we can mitigate the risks and weather the storm. Check your home's insulation, stock up on food and water, make sure you have a plan to stay warm. Have a communication plan with loved ones. These simple steps can make all the difference. This is also a time to check on our neighbors, especially the elderly and those living alone. Offer assistance, a warm meal, a friendly face. In times of crisis, community is our greatest strength. Section 8. Weathering the storm together. The Arctic cold blast will test our limits. It will challenge our infrastructure, our resources, our very spirit. But it will also remind us of our shared humanity, our capacity for resilience, our ability to come together in the face of adversity. Let us meet this challenge with courage and compassion. Let us look out for one another, offering a helping hand to those in need. And let us remember that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit has the power to shine through. The storm will pass, the sun will rise again, and when it does, we will emerge stronger, more connected, more resilient than ever before. We are in this together.